The Temple of Artemis at Corfu is a Doric temple. It was dedicated to Artemis, who is the huntress. So she is the goddess of virginity, of purity, of the hunt. A lot of these gods and goddesses in the ancient Greek world are gods and goddesses of multiple things. This is because they're coming from different places and they have different meanings originally in those places. This is one of the first temples to be lavishly decorated. Decorative reliefs are found both on metopes as well as pediments, although here we're going to be looking at a pediment. But the problem is the shape of the pediment, that triangular piece at either end of a temple that sits just below the roof line, creates a design dilemma. What is that design dilemma? Well, at the end of the day, what you have is a situation where these ends are much smaller than what we see in the middle. And this creates a scale issue because to them early on, you can't really create figures that are of the same size on the sides as we do in the middle. Now we're looking at the west pediment, and in the center we see a 10-foot gorgon. A gorgon would be Medusa. There are actually 3 of them, but Medusa is most famous. And we see this archaic pinwheel-like position. Flanking her on either side, although only one of them is really obvious, are her 2 children. On the right, we have Chrysaor. So this is a male child. On the left, you see the hindquarters. Over here, her child is Pegasus. We don't ask. In the Greek world, it's really best that you not ask how a gorgon who starts as a human gives birth to a horse with wings. It's just one of those things. Look at Greek mythology. There's a whole series, 3 books narrated by Stephen Fry on mythology, heroes, and the Trojan War. They're available on Audible, etc. But it's a great primer in what Greek mythology really looks like. Now, these 3 are flanked by 2 felines, lions basically. And again, lions, very common feature of the ancient Near East, Egypt, and ancient Greece. And these lions probably get at some of the same ideas: courage, bravery, ability, a lot of possibilities. And then in the corners, as we move out, we have Zeus slaying a giant, also known as a giantomachy, on one side, which is off on the right. And then on the left side, you see a scene from the Trojan War. Achilles' son killing the Trojan king Priam. So these seem like really scattered images, and they don't seem to go together really easily, although they do show, for example, the Greek conquest of the Trojans, the Greek god Zeus, and his defeat of the Titans of Tennessee. We see these figures that are getting at this idea of the Greeks as being better than everyone else. Should sound familiar, very similar to the ideas that we see from the Egyptian Old Kingdom. And those ideas are quite common in almost every society at some point.